No?
Going for a walk.
Sacked him.
Right.
I've sacked him.
What say you? Formerly known as What the Hell? Welcome, everybody, to Real Deal Media's What Say You? I am your What Say You host, Dean Ryan, still. Tonight is a special night as it's two occasions. Well, first of all, this is a wonderful show where it's a focus on you, the audience, the viewers, the participants, the patrons, all of you here tonight, as we focus on your questions, comments, concerns, conjectures for some, but also my last night in the studio here on the East Coast. Yes, and I know I've said that before, but this time I mean it. I mean it. Anyways, thank you for that. Okay, tonight we're going to be getting to a lot of, we're going to do a few grazing of the headlines throughout the world. In your neck of the woods. Also, we're going to invite people to call in if you dare to call in. So there you have it. And just for those who are asking, where is it on Facebook? Where is it on Facebook? Well, Facebook, because of the copyright, I had to, we started a little late. Okay, thank you. That's what's happening there. Anyways, we're going to be getting to some things here. First of all, let me put this out there if you want to call in. I'm very stable. I know what's happening. Thank you. Join the convo and feel free to join the combo on convo. We have combos 1, 2, 3. If you dare to, we are broadcasting live now on Facebook. I'm well aware at The Real Dean Ryan, and as well as Dean Ryan TV over there on YouTube and Rumble. Thank you. Yeah. Have you noticed people, I was having this discussion earlier. As we start here, and I just saw myself. I look like a Miami drug dealer. I just realized that. Thank you. Just taking it easy here tonight as we have a relaxed night. But Miami Vice aside, people have said to me they're so newsed out. There's so much disappointment all around. There's a lot of people who are disappointed with Donald Trump, the Trump administration. There's a lot of people who are disappointed with anonymous, unanimous, people who are, there's a very few people pleased. I've noticed, just as my consensus, and as a guy who used to DJ a long time ago and when you are working a party or a wedding, in my case, I used to be, believe it or not, a wedding DJ slash host. And my God, that's one of the deadliest jobs you can ever have, especially when you're in your 20s. Um, Bridezillas are real. But when none of the patrons are happy out there with what's happening, it really is a tough, confusing world, and I'm all knowing of that. I totally understand, and I feel the pain. So you might have noticed, yeah, a lot of people, a lot of viewerships are down around the board, and also the tightening of the censorship too. I think I explained my debanking the other day, if you can believe it. And feel free to join the convo if you dare. Feel free to if you want to call in. I promise I bite hard. It's actually nibbling. Who am I kidding? So yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I feel out there. So you can join the convo. And then I ask people, since this is what say you, what say you out there? A lot of people said, well, a lot of people don't say, I should say, guest. Do people want to hear more guest out there from this viewership? I guess that's my what say you question. Are guests important? This is not a very guest oriented kind of place. It's hard to get guests when you're just so shadow banned. It's you look like you just started, like you're a starter up show. So what I guess I'm going to get is I'm in forever purgatory where I reside here in the ionospheres of shows out there. And I say shows because I've seen other shows, and I'm not sure if those are Zoom calls. I think the term show gets really thrown around so lightly these days. If I call a friend on my phone, is that a show as well? I'm just asking. Anyways, all right. So tonight, there's a few things here. I want to start off with this because this is you might have heard a special report the other day by Mike Adams over there of Natural News and Brighteon. And Mike was talking about the finances, the financials, and how the CBDC, which is the crypto of the Federal Reserve, is trying to get their dirty fingers into the magic pie of America and literally and sneakily try to add their stable coins into the pile with the not so genius bill. And it's a ruse, as we've discovered. But also, here is the big true fight at hand. And so, as much as we talk about the Middle East here, the real true fight is the control of the artificial intelligence. And, I've spoken about this a few times over the course of months and the past year, to be exact. And what you have is a race to the end. We're living in a century where China was promised to be the controllers, the leaders of the universe going into this brave new world here in the 2000s onward. And what that entailed was well beyond just controlling the farming and the ports and what have you. It was also controlling, or I should say, owning the keys to the artificial intelligence. And that's why you see, like in the big, beautiful bill, you see a real effort by this administration to build as many artificial AI plants, smart cities as much as possible, because China is going, well, they have the keys to it. We have so much espionage in the military, so much espionage in the federal government. But in addition to that, what China has is something that America doesn't seem to have right now. And it explains the outages. It explains the haywire going on in the airports. And that is the electricity grid hubs that are now at full brink. And I was told this late last night by Mike himself. And there's going to be East Coast, states on the East Coast are going to be affected. I told you about the DC area having power outages right now as we speak. In places, Virginia onward. So there's a lot happening, but let's get to some of these things and some headlines from around the world. But we're going to start with a piece from Mike Adams here, and hold tight here as we get to some headlines. Look at these headlines. There's the electricity grid, just to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. It's now coming down the pikeway here. Let me tell you more about it now. Well, this is a wonderful article. It's called the AI race is already won, how China's power dominance and America's climate lunacy secured its victory in the race to the AI superintelligence. And there's a lot of truth behind this. And I have to remind myself to remind you about the backside story. Well, the 21st century race for artificial intelligence and eventually artificial superintelligence, which is the sequel, much more predominant in what we're facing. Well, it's not merely a contest of algorithms or computing power. It's fundamentally one energy dominance, one rule, basically the Amazon of the power grid. Think of it that way. While Western policymakers remain distracted by the conductor shortages, renewable energy targets, China has executed a single-minded national strategy, securing cheap, abundant, and scalable electricity to power its AI ambitions. Now, the implications of this are quite stark. Well, China's AI superiority is guaranteed not to only break through new just networks and disrupt things, but it's unrivaled expansion of coal-fired power plants, nuclear initiatives, geopolitical energy maneuvering. They've got it all. They've got it all, just like the movie They Live. Don't fight them, just join them. And I'm daring to say they even have outer earth beings they're probably talking to underneath their decrepit underground system over there in Beijing. Well, the United States, meanwhile, stumbles under its self-imposed energy austerity, regulatory paralysis, and climate cultism, infrastructure dismantling. So, what are we talking about here? And I want to show you this chart. This is a wonderful chart by Mike Adams himself. I think illustration is the best form of understanding. Look at this chart right here. Mike puts it into great perspective of what we're now facing here. And you're going to see a lot of disruptions, and he's given us the heads up, and thank goodness for it. Have a look at this. Well, it's hard to have a look at that. Hold on one second. This damn. All right, here it is. So this is the top power producing countries from 1985 to 2024. This should give you a inclination of what we're enduring here. Here it is. So as you can see there, China is at the top of the pyramid, whatever that is. Look at that. China, electricity generation, 10,000 gigawatts right there. Generated more electricity in 2004 than US, EU, and India combined. So you know what the implications of that too is they can also sell energy to other countries. We can't compete. In fact, we're already at the brim of the power grid, as PGE is now saying. That's why you're going to see more power outages just in the nick of time as the floods, the locusts, all, hell on earth is now just underway. Well, continuing here, look at this. So then you have the U.S. in a very distant second at 4,000 gigawatts. Then you have the EU at 2,000, and somehow, someway, India, they have a lot of gigawatts, but no sanitary system somehow. Then you have Russia, then you have Japan. And it's just, but look at the year 2000 right here. And if you recall what I said, China was promised this new century and everybody invested in it. Think all the way back to the year 2000, how everybody was talking about China. All the software companies, all the retail manufacturing, go to China, it's much cheaper. They all invested into it. Now look at them. Electricity generation, they are the kings of the walk. You see, this is quite stunning. And let me tell you, nobody in the year 2000 was talking about AI anything. It was a vastly different world back then. Nobody saw this coming, but they did. And that's the most important part about it. So I wanted to share that with you. Now, to close it off, and I highly recommend you see this very in-depth article that Mike did, because this is going to change everything. And this is an AI war. And as he was saying, accelerating consensus, AGI, which is a huge electricity producer here in the United States, They're having troubles already. PGE, on and on and on. And we're already having an energy crisis. And a lot of that is due to the weather modification, that it's so damn hot everywhere. It's scalding hot here on the East Coast. I go outside, I come back in, I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, I'm Jamaican now. I'm just burnt, I'm crisp. It's just incredible. So that's how that one goes. And that's a story to start off with for you. Here's another one here. Here's another one. And it's very rare Mike does these incredible articles like he used to. Here's another one that's going on here today. This is to switch gears now. This is a big story. This is news that a lot of people have been waiting to hear for a long time. Look at this is now Clinton and Bill Clinton are now being subpoenaed. Did you hear about this? Look at what we have here. House panel votes to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton over possible links to Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, gee, I think a picture says 1,000 words. It says guilty. Guilty. So they're not going to be subpoenaed. Yes, they are. They're underway. What do you think about? What say you on that? Is that going to go anywhere? Is that just more hoopla for nothing? Yeah, let me tell you about this now. And then we have some people are going to call in. Well, the Oversight Committee, I should say, the panel committee, voted to subpoena Bill and Hillary Rodham Clinton just today. I'm holding my breath over their alleged ties to notorious businessman Jeffrey Epstein, convicted accomplice. So Scott Perry over there in Pennsylvania introduced the motion to subpoena during a federal law enforcement subcommittee hearing. Now, the Clintons and several former top aides, Justice Department officials, including ex-FBI Director James Comey, Robert Mueller, remember him, Robert Mueller, one-time special counsel, former attorneys General Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, remember all these names? Merrick Garland, Bill Barr, remember Elton Barr? I don't know who Bill Barr is, but we certainly know who Elton Barr is. Jeff Sessions and Alberto Gonzalez were included in a list of subpoenas sought by Perry in order to, quote, expand the full committee's investigation into Miss Maxwell. Wow. I haven't heard Jeff Sessions' name in literally 10 years. That is shocking. That is shocking. Let's look at the live chats here. I got to be a better host at that. Let's start on Rumble. What say you on that? Well, we have Maddie Lynn over there who says that China has skyrocketed to the top and back during bummer. Yeah, that's true. We also have Hammer Time saying the green new commie deal, watermelon commie on the inside of the Trojan horse trick. Wow. Well, thank you for that. That was quite a magic trick in its own right. Then we have Eshwink over there on Rumble. I thought they were advertising that Congress voted to shut down the release of the Epstein files. I don't know where lies and true are anymore. Yeah, the files, yes, but the subpoena is for Ghislaine Maxwell to testify. So they're two different things, which are very contradictory because on one hand, you have Pam Bondi and all these people, the Bonginos, Bonbingo, saying that, well, there's no files. He killed himself. He was depressed. There's nothing here. There's nothing else to be sought after. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just a bad guy. Then if that's the case, why is Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison? See, it just overlaps each other with contradiction. Okay, here we have Wild Mountain Bear who's saying the following. I'm disappointed about the slow censored release of the Epstein files. JFK, MLK, 911, UFO, and the Middle East, Ukraine war is still going. Yeah, it is. It's only, and it's increased. And here's some other files too, if I may add to that, Wild Mountain Bear, that they don't get talked about enough. Nobody brings it up. But I would like the files released on two more people. John Lennon, I'd like to hear the files on that because I think there's a connection with his murder in the Bushes. Also, Malcolm X. Malcolm X, I think, is an important figure of the 20th century in how he was infiltrated. His words were besmirched when he figured out who the true assailants are of our country. I'd like for those files to be released too, because anything that J. Edgar Hoover was in charge of, his reign of power, there is high level corruption all over the place. I would like those files to be released since we're talking about it. Okay, we have Christina saying that stuff is going down. Yes, it is. It's been going up, can be going down. We have Gwyneth Davis saying, think Taiwan is going to be the key to energy. That's where Pelosi and they had the money scheme. Yeah, they have, and they have things buried in what's that place? Taiwan, yes. Okay, and yes, the power companies, we're going to be getting power outages on the West Coast. Yes, we are. Okay, here's another one. Gwyneth Davis saying, today I got a message from the power company in the next 24 hours. Why are people not getting warnings? They have technology to warn every citizen in the world. Let me add to this too. How many of you out there have been getting weird text messages? Like, let me read this to you. I've gotten weird text messages from a cable company in the States called Xfinity saying I owe $999. How the hell is that possible? Then I got another one about how my new iPhone 11 is ready for shipping and it's only $1,500. And then you look at the numbers, it's like, from out of the country, one's from Minnesota. And I'm hearing people are getting this more and more and more. The other day, I have a friend of mine who received a call from what he thought was a military-based correction officer saying there's a warrant for his arrest. They need $8,000 now to fix it. He's to report to so-and-so station or he's going to be arrested. So this is on the ramping up of this and the corruption in this country and how they're targeting literally, if not veterans, senior citizens. It's on the rise, everybody. And it's quite shocking. And I don't know how many people are talking about that outside of local news. Here we have Ranger Black, Microsoft Allure, CCB back channel. China has all of our data, 10 years Pentagon cloud service owned by CCP. Yeah, by Bill Gates, Microsoft. Yeah, Google equals CCP. Google equals China. So Israel builds the technology. They distribute it to the cartels. They partnered with China at one point. China takes the technology. Then they do what's it called? Back reversing technology to learn how they made it and then recreate it. Because China is the biggest theft of intellectual property in the world. Reverse engineering. That's the term I was using and thinking about. Okay, here's another one. Here we have Skip Tomaloo saying, hacked and they want passport info sent so I can close fake profiles, double trapped, a no meeting read. Yeah, everything's getting hacked right now, big time. Thank you for noticing that. We have Liz Marchand who's saying over there on Facebook, my comments are being blocked again. Not by me. Yeah, people think that we're blocking things. It's literally, I have to go to the back of the YouTube on the studio, that just graveyard over there. And so many people's comments don't even make it. I don't even know. It's just considered spam. You know what I mean? Finally here, Christine saying we just had power outages all night. Really? So there you go. And Christine, what part of the country are you calling from there or typing from? Because I'd like to know. There's 13 states. And finally here, Elizabeth Ann, thank you for this. I got emergency alert texts 2 days ago about the phone is infected with severe. So this is it. So my point is, if you don't know the text message or the phone number, the phone calls, don't touch it. Don't pick it up. Don't reply to it because it's part of the Project Pegasus where they can just usurp your information from your phone, your device without you knowing. And there's another thing too. If you're at an airport, bus stop, bus station, anywhere in a public place, and you want to charge your phone, and you put your charger into the outlet, there's something called, I swear to God, it's called jack juicing. So the hackers, they set up something in these outlets where you charge your phone in a public place, a library or whatever. As soon as you do that, your information is sucked. Just like they have it at the gas stations with the ATMs. That's how they're getting you. So everybody has to be careful, be very vigilant right now. That's all I can say. Okay, so once again, we're going to open up the phone lines if you want to call in for whatever reason. And we have a lot of stories. I want to hear what are you concerned about the Epstein? Do you care? What about the treasonous charges? What does that mean for you? Is that just giving the public red meat because people aren't getting the Epstein and what they want? Let's see that. Okay, we do have a caller who's now calling in. Okay, we have a caller. We have one of our night owls, Rebel Mama. Thank you for being here tonight. Well, hello, Marnie. How are you tonight, all the way from Ontario, Canada?
Just fine, Dean. How are you?
Well, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I'll tell you that much. But we are in some scandemic times. So let's ask you, Ray. I know you sent me some stories we'll get to, but just right off the bat, let's talk about the Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton getting called in regarding Ghislaine Maxwell and the subpoena for the Epstein debacle. Do you think that's going to
Well,
be
I
there,
find
or is
it
that just red
fascinating.
distraction?
They just came out with information. I just saw it maybe 2 hours ago. It was in Chelsea's press conference about her being drugged to the nines, tranquilizers. Remember when she was at the 9/11 thing and keeled over and they shoved her into the van? They've got the documentation from
Wait,
emails that they
wait a
had
minute.
her on
Tulsi was
tranquilizers.
drunk?
No. Hillary.
Okay. I'm like,
Okay.
wow, Tulsi
Remember
was
way
drunk.
back when she was at that
Yeah.
official function and that we saw the camera work of her being shoved into the van? Like they
Yeah, she was
literally
like
threw her
this
in?
and going wobbling. Now, people have said that's Hillary Clinton died right there. 2, that she was arrested, and 3, she was just in bad health. What do we know about it thus far?
Well, there's a lot of different stories, but from what Chelsea released today, and that was from a text message from Obama himself, that she was heavily medicated on tranquilizers and other things because she was having psychological problems. She was basically, I don't know what the condition is called, but she would be super peppy and then super dark. And she was all over the place. They couldn't control her. So they basically just tranquilized her.
Well, it was called, she was said to have something called Cujo that you get from eating human meat, if you recall at the
Yeah.
time. We covered that extensively. I'll never forget the 2016 election with WikiLeaks, but she had Cujo. Bill Clinton had a hole in his tongue. Uh,
Yeah.
she would have wild outbursts where she just looked surprised. And the Hillary Clintons we've had since, they've all been different. Just like there's like 5 different Donald Trumps. What do you think about that?
Well, as a matter of fact, Trumpy was on TV tonight on Fox Live, and it was the brown-eyed, veneered teeth Trump back again.
Oh, no kidding. Brown-eyed girl.
Serious. Yep.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so you brought some of these things to my attention.
Yeah.
Some
One
of
other
my
thing on the Bill and Hillary thing that I tripped over, and I've got the clip. I didn't send it, but do you remember Patrick Byrne,
Okay,
Overstock?
Patrick Byrne, yes.
There is a clip out there, and he believes that Obama's blackmail is owned by Brennan. Brennan is the top dog, not
Hey,
Obama.
everybody who's listening, how many years have I been telling people this, that Brennan is the top dog? If you don't know what I'm talking about, former CIA director John Brennan, who we covered extensively in 2020. I'll never forget. I even wrote a song about it. I mean, that's how crazy it was. Former head of the CIA director. This is the man who discovered and created Barack Obama and gave him the name Barack Obama as a slap in the face to Americans because it sounded like Osama bin Laden. This is the
Exactly.
man that is what they call a Wahhabist Muslim and a registered communist, John Brennan. He's the most evilest scum. And Barack Obama is a Satanist, but he masquerades as a Muslim on occasion. So it's
Hmm.
Barry Soetoro, and they put their own agent of Barack Obama into the White House. Now, what does this mean? Well, first of all, I dare anyone and I defy anyone to find me any video where you see Barack Obama putting his hand over his heart and doing the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem. You won't find it. That's first and foremost. But he was an agent to take down the United States and was the guy that gave us the mRNA miracle jabs going all the way back to 2015. Who remembers all the bird flu, the avian flu, all the pig flu? All those were beta tests during his tenure as president. And here we are. So you know what this means, Marnie, is that if and when they null and void and find out he was a fraudulent human being, he has the birth certificate was fake, the entire 8 years of Barack Obama is null and void. That's huge.
It's huge. And the snowballs coming off of that are just ridiculous. I mean, how do you pay reparation to all the people that have been murdered by this guy as a result of his actions way back then?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's got more blood on his hands than Fauci.
Oh, easily does.
Fauci was just a cog.
Easily does. Okay, so let's here's something else that's coming to mind here. Now this is coming out that Donald Trump is now told he was named in Epstein files months ago by Pam Bondi in a bombshell report claim. Did you hear about this? This is now trending. Check this out right now. It's coming out of the Daily Mail.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here it is.
Incredible.
Trump told he was named in the Epstein files months ago by Pam Bondi. Bombshell report claims Donald Trump was informed that his name appears multiple times in the Jeffrey Epstein files, as she recommended against releasing the documents, according to a new report. Senior administration officials claim that AG Bondi told Trump during May 2025 meeting that his name was found all over the place. Files contained unverified. Yeah. Look at this here. Let's see if we can watch this right here. If you're watching at home, brace yourself. Published July 23rd. Look at all the people. All the people.
It's really dark. There we go.
Okay. We don't know what that is. All right. This is why I hate the Daily Mail. All right. So anyways, let's get back to this. So this is probably, they're saying this is why they're not releasing it. Marnie, what say you on that? Because administration officials told the Journal that Bondi's meeting all the way back in May was a routine briefing, but of how they're going to cover this up. So this probably makes sense why he's covering and sticking by Pam Bondi, because anyone who's now in that position as an attorney general that has any integrity may not do what he may wish. Or is this a ruse? What do you think? Is this a Trump trap?
I think it's more distractions. I really do. And this might be a good time to grab that one about a lady named Maria Abramovich.
Okay, so tell us about this before I put this on the screen. Just kind of remind us who Marina is and what she's saying about Donald Trump now.
Yes, Maria is the notorious witch of the dark side who even officiated at Queen Elizabeth's funeral. She is sort of the dark psychic to the stars, only hangs out with the upper echelon, and she's as evil as Obama.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And this is what she had to say about President Trump.
Okay, everybody, check this out, because she's saying he's a high-level magician.
Yeah.
Which is news to me. Here it is.
She did this documentary, I believe, or I'm not sure if it was a documentary, but she was in a cab and she was talking. And in this cab, she literally said that Trump was the best thing to happen to this country because he is the high magician that would bring in the New World Order.
Trump is the best thing happened ever to us, that he is the magician of the highest order, that he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. You know, it's not so stupid thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down.
As you heard for yourself, Marina Abramovich clearly admits that Trump was the man that was supposed to bring in a new world order, and that he's a high magician, and that he is literally doing his job right now, spreading confusion and bringing and ushering in this new world order. This isn't the only time Marina Abramovich said this either. She also said this in this interview, where she admits again that Trump is the perfect fit to bring in this new world order.
Out of this dream, this once the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar, but he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up.
Now remember, Marina Abramovich isn't just anybody. This is one of the elite witches of. A while back, she did this documentary.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What say you out there? That is incredible that Trump is a high-level magician. Oh, or is that giving him too much credit that, you know, he's well enough to do that? What are your thoughts on that, Marnie? You brought that to our attention here tonight.
Hard to say. She's another PR piece that they use. We have to go on the assumption that she really is doing what people say she is. But I mean, she could be AI for all we know. So many things have been planned out so far ahead. Who knows what's real and what's not? But if we take her at her face value, okay, it's another thing that backs up what James Martinez said in his interview a couple of days ago. That everything on the surface is really just for show.
Yeah, that really does. And
The real war is under our feet and way up in the sky, and we don't even understand what's going on.
we have people who are saying, we have Gwyneth Davis who said, did he go to the island? She's a spirit cooker, maid, ambassador to Ukraine. Is she the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine? I did not know that. If so, please tell me. I do know this is a woman who trained, she trains the Satan. She's like the Yoda of Satanism and black magic. She trained Lady Gaga. She's
Madonna?
trained the who's who of the stars. To get into that club, from my experience in the past, it all starts at the candle shops in Hollywood. And if you were to work at a candle shop in Hollywood, I don't know if you knew this, but that's where you start seeing people like Naomi Campbell come into your store and buy black candles to do little black magic prayers, sex magic to Shiva. That's who they pray to. And I know this because black magic was done to me on multiple occasions. And a friend of mine who I won't name, unbeknownst to both of us by the same person. And a further investigation, yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was a prayer to Shiva, black magic candles, garlic salt, pictures of myself and others ripped up, or she did something else to them. I can't say right now. But this is terrifying. Is Trump a black magic guy? But again, you know, Marnie, what comes to mind right away, he never put his hand on the Bible this second time around when he swore in. And I'll never forget the day in the first administration, he was doing a speech and he was holding up the Bible, but it was upside down. Do you recall that?
I do. Yeah.
So,
And he doesn't miss details like that.
no. And at the time, our interpretation, I believe, on the show at that time was, it was sending a message to the Satanists that he sees them. I mean, it's all open interpretation. If you like Trump, then you'll see that. If you don't like him, then you'll see it the other way. It's like what pill of the matrix you want to take at this point. You know, there's no right or wrong here. So,
Well, everyone's trying to justify their theories. You got the Q people, you got the Alex Jones types, you got the free thinkers like you that look at everything and get a view from 80,000 feet. You've got to look at the spiritual side. You've got to look at the Bible thumpers and see what they're up to. You've got to look at every angle and try and make your own determination based on the best of all of it. You can't just get pigeonholed into one or you just become a cult member.
very good point. Martin, we have a break coming up. Why don't you stand by there for a quick
Okay.
second, if you will. Okay, hold the thought there. And here's some people here. We have Wild Mountain Bear who's saying the only place Trump is on the only place Trump is on that list is the flight list. If Trump actually went to the island, it would have been brought up long ago, especially during the alleged Biden administration. Well, here's the thing: is this list coming out? Period. I think the list is the digestive biscuit of taking down the entire system. I mean, this implicates everybody. every major senator, just hundreds of Congress people, EU leaders, Supreme Court justice. This takes down the system. And I think that they're willing to sacrifice Trump to take down the system, but they have to have the new system up first, which goes into what we were speaking about in the first segment about the power grid and the AI versus China. I don't think we're prepared for that yet. So when you think of it in those terms, releasing this now takes down the entire system. People lose faith in the entire financials and abiding by the law of the land when they don't. And it's a double-edged sword. But good point. Thank you, Wild Mountain Bear. I've lost where I was going with that. But anyways, we have Gwyneth Davis saying Virginia, the whistleblower who's dead now. Yes, she is. Said Trump wasn't the problem. Maxwell was. She worked at the Mar-a-Lago. Trump kicked Epstein out. Think we have to have a little faith. Yeah. It's just, I mean, if Trump releases it, or if the Democrats were to release it, then they go down. If Trump releases it, Democrats go down, and then he goes down or might go down. I mean, think about, like, even if you're innocent on the list, but you're just on the list and you're innocent, your career is going to take a nosedive. This is probably why Bruce Willis is having the memory issues right now. Very timely. I just don't think it's a black and white issue anymore. So, okay, here's another one here. We have Dorothy saying, listening from Canada, anyone follow the Q drops? What do you think? No, I haven't followed the Q drops. Okay, we have Nigel Dyer that says Trump's big, beautiful bill. Those sixes look like B's. Thank you, Nigel. Here's Ranger Buck saying that was when he was briefed on the mark of the beast and he was saying it's biblical. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, we have Patriot Dave who's saying, yep, Trump is the snake. It's yeah. I think but what Trump are we talking about? They faked the last president. I tend to lean on the side that they're faking this one too. I've caught them using CGI. Remember what Forsetti told us? What we have to worry about with all these leaders is they're all using CGI. We're being played on a huge scale right now. I'm telling you. And we just got to, like people like Thomas Massey, I'm saying the only concrete things we have to grasp onto that's tangible, well, it's the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That is the one thing that cannot be CGI'd. And, if you stick to that, we're going to be centered that way. And of course, yes, beliefs and everybody's, spirituality, etc. Anyways, we got to take this quick break. When we get back, we're going to do some more big stories. I have stories about, I have some weird stories, which I just love. But I want to tell you about how now there's a new spy mechanism out there called spy cockroaches. Spy cockroaches. Just when you thought things couldn't get even more sci-fi, you're going to hear about that. This is what they're using on us now. We also have I have a story about more Californians being moving to Texas now more than ever. Also, a huge update on Candace Owens, who's now being sued by Mrs. Macron, or should I say Mr. Macron? But what Mr. is it? Whose Macron is it? Anyways, we'll learn about that. And also a big story about the death of what they're calling now the death of the alpha male. We're going to reveal what that is and what people are saying about the death of the man, the American man. Is it? We'll find out after this quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this message. Operation Midnight Hammer is underway. Well, after the U.S. bombing run and days of attacks, reported by the Defense Intelligence Agency estimated that the program had been delayed, but by less than 6 months. That's the uranium, that's the nuclear making. Now, the report also said that much of Iran's stockpile enriched uranium was moved before the strikes. And they're confirming now some Israeli officials who are highly, highly pissed off said that they also believe that the Iranian government had maintained small covert enrichment facilities. What we witnessed is now we can describe as Operation Hammer, but I don't know about you out there. I'm old enough to remember the original Operation Hammer, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, this is the original Operation Midnight Hammer. Yes. So, it just goes to show everything old is new again. And ask Paul Pelosi, and he'll tell you. Okay, we are back, experiencing a little technical difficulties because I'm very difficult here. Welcome back, everybody. I'm still Dean Ryan, who's cruising with you to midnight and beyond here tonight. It's one of my final nights here on my incredible East Coast studio. And I chose to spend it with all of you here tonight because that's the kind of clingy person I am. Can you blame me? Can you blame me? Tonight is brought to you by you, the Real Deal Media members who are visionaries or debonaires, players from the Himalayas, and who are definitely iconic, not ironic. All you got to do is go to realdealmedia.tv for a little fun in the sun and become a night owl and join the revolution. And don't start it without me. No, you don't. And that's all you got to do. Just go down there, and the rest follows. Become the night owl for your mind, and the rest will follow. Also, a big thank you to those who have donated. You know who you are out there. Thank you for keeping these broadcasts going. We are people-powered. I'm not on the good side of the algorithm. I'm not a cheerleader, nor am I a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a realist at the end of the day. So thank you to all of those. And thank you to one of those hunters out there who was monitoring the weird critters at night as we go into this brave new world. This was what he saw in his ultra nighttime vision. Look at all these critters with this new infrared trigger camera. Well, you have ET right there, Alf, Gizmo, Harry and the Hendersons, and Slimer himself. So a lot of weird critters out there. Thank you to the person who sent me that. We appreciate it very much. Okay. We're going to continue on and forge ahead here and look at your comments, questions, concerns. We have one of our callers. If you want to, she's waiting behind the scenes. If you want to call in right now, feel free to do so before I go the way of the buffalo and go my traveling and find my way home. Maybe tomorrow I will. Maybe today I won't. Feel free to do so. I'll put that in the chat logs there, in my flight logs. Okay, there we have it. And I think we are still on Rumble. Yes, we are. Feel free to do it. A lot of critters out there. I agree. A lot of rampant critters we got to be careful of. Okay, let's continue on here. Of course, there was an error. This is something new here. This is an update about Candace Owens, who literally was the OG in calling out Macron's wife. Now, here's a major update. I don't know if you heard about this, and it really is a sign of the times. Look at this right here. Candace Owens accuses Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, of bullying her with defamation suit over claims that French First Lady, was born a man, baby. She was born a man. Candace Owens is not shutting up. This is so good. I can't even begin to tell you how good this is. And Marty, I'll bring you up here too. Marty, how great is this story? Because you know why this is so great, Marty, and tell me if I'm wrong. This lays the road down to uncovering who the hell Barack Obama was married to. And that's another man, because I defy anyone to show me any pregnant pictures of Michelle Obama. Excuse me, I mean Michael. Right, Marnie? Am I crazy on that?
Not at all, because Michelle, quote unquote, actually went on a podcast. I believe it was on Monday, and said that, quote unquote, she doesn't know what it's like to be pregnant because she's a black man.
Yeah, well, she misspoke. Yeah, I remember covering that. She said she misspoke and all these things, but look, Freudian slips are called Freudian slips for a reason. Okay, but the fact that Macron is married, do I have to show the picture of Brigitte Macron on the boat
No,
again?
spare us, spare us.
Because I will if I have to. If people out here don't start behaving, I'll show that picture again. But anywho, anyways,
Well,
but this really lays the
she's better
foundation.
looking than what's his face's wife, the American guy. What's his name? Schumer's.
Oh, geez. Yes. Yeah. Schumer is definitely, but Macron, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, because we have a lot of new people, everybody, this is the first lady of France. Look at this here. This is who we're talking about. Yeah. That's Grandpa Macron. What's he doing with the wig on? My God. Anyways, continuing here, and I do apologize if you're eating dinner and just spat out your food. Well, Candace Owens is not shutting up. They're saying this is the foreign government attacking the First Amendment rights of American independent journalists. Candace repeatedly requested an interview with Brigitte, or whoever his name is, and they're not doing it. But okay, but here's what I'm saying: is we close that right there. Why even try to, if you were Brigitte Macron, God forbid, would you be fighting this? Because doesn't this bring more attention to the matter?
It does, but it's another distraction. And you know how they operate. There is no bad publicity. The more that they can stir up of this nonsense, the less we notice that they're taking all your rights away.
Exactly. Okay, here we have Lynn Marshall Deviser saying she's Macron's biological father. Lynn, you don't really believe that, do you? Because if you do, you're absolutely right. She is. Here's Claudine saying, be gay, it's okay. 2 lies is bad. Is that a fortune cookie, Claudine? Thank you very much for that. We have Skip Tomalou saying the 2 French journalists were not convicted, so Candace should and will find that angle. Speaking of angles, is this really the angle you want to be standing on a boat? I don't think so. Thank you for that here on Rumble. Let's check that real quick. Hammer Time says it's Operation Hammer Time. You're right. It really is. Let me break that out. There you have it. Then we have Hammer said, watch out for their divide and conquer tactics. I think so too. Maddie Lynn says saggy Speedo. Thank you, Maddie Lynn. That's disgusting. Hammer Time says too much Soylent Green burgers. Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, there we have that one. And I do apologize for that. Okay, let's go to this next story here. I want to talk about the death of the alpha male. We hear about the toxic male. How long we've been hearing about, let me get rid of this hammer, my God. How long have we been hearing about this toxic male, Marty? I mean, I remember being in college and hearing like women and people on The View talking about the toxicity, the male toxicity, how it has to go. It's been 20 years of indoctrinationship, hasn't it?
At least. All you have to do is look at what has been on TV and how men went from Archie Bunker with an opinion to Weird Al Bundy, who was just a jackass. And they just started making every male a white guy that couldn't find his way out of a closet if he wanted to. And they got gayer and gayer and gayer as years went on. I mean, look at Alan on 2.5 Men. Look what they did to him.
You're talking about Ducky?
No, the chiropractor, Charlie Sheen's brother on 2.5 Men.
Yes. John Cryer, Ducky.
That's what they did to men. They made them all so effeminate and bowing down to women and not capable of doing anything, even Home Improvement. I mean, it was a great show, but they had to make men look as dumb as possible.
We have Rhonda Jones saying Vienna sausage. Rhonda, too soon. Too soon. All right, look at this one here. So speaking of this, this is another article I found interesting and quite stunning. The death of the alpha male as a science reveals who really holds the power in the battle of the sexes. The alpha male may be more than a myth in reality, as researchers have found that among many species, he's not the one in charge. He's not the one in charge. Let me read more of this to you here. This is quite interesting. We'll get Marnie and all of your takes of what say you after. Well, now researchers in Germany studied that real flights between 151 groups of male and female primates. Yeah, and I missed that one. Who are among the most intelligent group of mammals include humans, monkeys, and yes, apes. Well, they found that majority of the cases, females pushed males aside and even controlled the mating process, challenging the long-standing belief that male dominance is the norm. Well, they're now saying that it applies to humans as well. It's a big shift from the narrative of male dominance, especially considering that humans share so much of their behavior with primates. And I would say some never evolved from that. Males were dominant in about every 6 cases, but the females were the ones in the end who were the most dominant. Isn't that the case? I think.
Well, I think what's changed, Dean, is that women might have always been in charge, but men always thought they were in charge
Okay,
until
let's
about 20
expand on
years
that,
ago.
Marnie, because I feel that I have to represent the men here tonight as their lawyer in this. Now, what do you mean by that? Are you saying that women have been playing us, letting us think that we're in charge while they're running the show behind the scenes?
Absolutely.
Now, what does that mean? Because I feel very in charge.
Let's just say, well, I've been married for 36 years and I can get whatever I want with a homemade pie.
I think that's code for something. Okay, here's Skip saying that the term metrosexual was the beginning. Yeah, that comes from the
Yes.
Metropolitan. I do recall that. And Monica, thank you. I remember Ducky. I'm told you I'm not crazy. We have here we have Nigel Dyer. Imagine a world full of men who, just like men, dressed in as women, just like they do in prison. I don't want to imagine that world, Nigel. Thank you for the suggestion. So sad indeed. What are people saying on Rumble? Okay, we have here we have Mandy. Yeah,
That's
I'm not
got to
saying
be
that one.
Maddie.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So Maddie says, Kenneth said it takes balls to be sued by Brigitte. Yes, it does. We have Kenny 59B saying it's not so. Real men don't need attention. It's just TV wanting you to believe the narrative. In the okay. Let me, and Eshwing says, what's changed is a total lack of respect for men. Women just don't show any respect. Okay, thank you. Let me expand on that. I think that today's man has been raised, a lot of the men today have been raised without fathers. And I think that we saw a decline in society, starting with the Vietnam War, and all the fathers that were to be fathers that came back from that were very they either came back addicted to drugs, alcohol, abuse, PTSD. So we have an entire country and 3 generations that have been suffering from PTSD. In the role reversals of now we have the grandparents raising the children, we have the mother raising all the kids, we have the father. It just everything is in disarray.
Well, the New World Order whole thing is to destroy the family unit, and that's what they did. And changing the role of men and women is all part of that equation. Confuse everybody and get rid of the family unit because that's where the strength comes from.
We have Monica Lynn saying, I love it when a man opens my door and walks on the street side of the sidewalk.
Amen, Monica.
It takes, yes, us men are always thinking 10 steps ahead. Liz Marchand says, I agree with you, Dean. Thank you, Liz. I know I can believe in you. And Rhonda says, bingo, B-I-N-G-O. Yes, I thought so too. Okay, we have time for one more story.
Only one. You've got 5 more on my list.
That's right. We have 5 more, but we are short on time.
Well, quickly, Tina Peters is getting some attention from the Trump DOJ, and it looks like she could be out on bond by the end of the week.
Okay, who's Tina Peters?
She is the whistleblower that kept the information in Arizona or Colorado, beg your pardon, to prove that they had screwed around with the Dominion machines, and they threw the book at her, and she's in jail. And a lot of people have been trying to get some attention on her case, and it's finally happening.
Also, we also got word now that Mike Lindell has won his appeal in a $5 million
Yes.
election data case. Okay,
Yeah, there's a clip there for
9
that
hours
too.
ago.
There's a really important there. Actually, there's two, Dean. They're very short. Let me just do the story here. I
Yeah,
was feeling lousy all weekend, like really lousy, and my
tell me
darling
about it.
daughter.
Mike Lindell, the man from My Pillow. This guy went total bankrupt. He
Oh
lost
yeah,
all his money. He put all his money in reversing the 2020 fraud, if you will. I mean, there was a time I couldn't even say that on air because they would shut us down. But tell us the update now, Marnie, as we have a sunset dial here.
yeah. He just won his appeal this afternoon,
Okay, that's
so
huge.
that's a $5 million judgment that was against him. So that's off the books. But I'm hearing in the background that he's got some backing, that he's not going to lose everything.
Well, let's hope
That
not.
that
That's
he's
real
getting
good
some
news there.
support.
Also, quickly, and then I'll get your final take on things. Iran has now made the statement that they're ready to exit the nuclear treaty if Western powers reimpose sanctions. So, do you see what us following Israel into the pits of hell has caused now?
Yeah.
And why would Iran ever believe our word when we trick them and lull them to a passage of sleep? When Israel did a sneak attack on them, and by the way, they're now doing it to Syria as well. This is beyond me. I don't. As long as we have Israel controlling our foreign policy, we don't have a free country, as far as I'm concerned.
No, exactly. No,
So that's how I see
the
it.
very last clip that I sent you, Dina, this one's important because it's actually, if you can read what it says as it goes along, it's very short. And for all of us that are tired, you said at the beginning, we're newsed out, we're exhausted, we don't know who to believe. This is important to see. So
Okay,
just
here it
grab
is.
that
Let me
last
play
clip.
this for you. I'm not sure what we're getting into, but I've been surprised before. Here we go.
Read the captions.
It's been so hard and you're tired. Oh, what a wonderful, beautiful cat. Thank you for that. I feel much better, and I
It's
feel
a pep talk for patriots.
thank you very
Don't
much.
give up, take a break, and then smack them with your paw.
Well, thank you, Marnie, for calling in, and this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
It has.
And one of the benefits of being a night owls is you get the passenger seat there. Thank you very much, Marnie, as we close off there. Okay, well, we're now approaching that time of the day, and that brings us to our final thoughts. Final thoughts here as we now witness my final night here in this wonderful studio here on the East Coast, where I've learned so much, and I've learned that there's so much more to the country, and it's so vastly different. But that's what true diversity is. But with diversity comes comes targeting, and I feel that the East Coast has been targeted so much. I mean, just the mosquitoes alone. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I've got 5 mosquitoes biting me constantly. Now, if prophecy is right, in this case, my grandmother, well, the mosquitoes are biting me because my blood's so sweet. So, but that aside, it's come to that point where I have to get back on the road and monitor what's happening on the West Coast, just for the time being, until the cliff over there in Africa falls off and a major tidal wave happens, or Yellowstone blows, or who knows what else. The point is, tomorrow's never promised, but the fact is, if we start living our life in fear, then the people are trying to kill us by fear and psychological fear in its own, well, they win. Yes, they do. We can't let them win. We have to keep living our lives as we control it and not let the controllers take full, ample ownership of you and sovereignty. And that's my final thought. And that's why we do What Say You, just to clear our heads and see what you're saying out there, because we can't live in a bubble here. We can't be incubated on our own. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for, I was going to do a song here, but I just don't know if I can do it tonight. It's just so much. But thank you for showering me with all of your wonderful suggestions, compliments, critiques, and just wonderful good cheer all around. I thank you for this series of shows that you allowed me to do. And I hope to continue to, the momentum, no matter which studio I'm using and where I'm doing the show, I'm going to continue to carry the flag for all of us here tonight. So for all of us here at Real Deal Media and this wonderful What Say You show, I'm Dean Ryan, and thank you for sharing a bit of your night with me. Until next time, always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody.